Hello, good afternoon. Welcome back to the channel. Wow, I want to express a great appreciation to all the subscribers, to all viewers, and to all friends and colleagues that have gone ahead to share with us they care for. It is a collective work towards changing and raising destinies in the lives of many. This is MusaCaleb, and the title of the YouTube channel is called Renewed Mindset with MusaCaleb. Why renew mindset is because a lot of mindset has been grown up with all beliefs that things are not possible. But as we push out this message of change and great mindset development, this is not motivational speaking, but it is about educating the mind and raising potential, self-belief in your own personal capacity to progress and succeed in life. Okay, today we are continuing from chapter 7 and the subtopic behind in chapter 7 in the book we pick called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Today we are looking at the subtitle that says Planning the Sale of Services. Planning the Sales of Services. The remainder of this chapter has been given over to a description of ways and means of marketing personal services. The information here conveyed will be of practical help to any person having any form of personal services to market, but it will be of priceless benefit to those who aspire to leadership in their chosen occupation. Intelligent planning is essential for success in any undertaking designed to accumulate riches. Here will be found detailed instruction to those who must begin the accumulation of riches by selling personal services. It should be encouraging to know that practically all the great fortune begin in the form of compensation for personal services or from the sales of ideas. What else except ideas and personal services will one not possess of property have to give in return of riches? Broadly speaking, there are two types of people in the world. One type is known as leaders, and the others as followers. Decide at the outset whether you intend to become a leader in your choosing calling or remain a follower. The difference in compensation is vast. The follower cannot reasonably expect the compensation to which a leader is entitled, although many followers make the mistake of expecting such a pay. No, you are not the leader of the group. The burden the leader is shouldering, you are not the one shouldering. In fact, in the board of decision, in the boardroom where the decision is made, you are not there. Decisions are made in your absence. So how can you expect to get a pay the same with your own master or with your own leader? Now, for you to have that, it is no disgrace to be a follower. Mark this. You are not being demoted to become a follower. But for you to remain a follower, that's what it will be a disgrace. On the other hand, it is no credit. It is not a credit for you to remain a follower. Most great leaders begin in the capacity of followers. They became great leaders because they were intelligent followers. With few exceptions, the man who cannot follow a leader intelligently cannot become an efficient leader. The man who can follow a leader most efficiently is usually the man who develops into leadership most rapidly. An intelligent follower has many advantages, among them the opportunity to acquire knowledge from his leader. Count it as a great opportunity for you when you have a leader that is intelligent and have you at heart. Be expert in observing his way. Be expert in observing the manner of his life. You see, great leaders are readers. All over, leaders, they give themselves to acquiring more knowledge. They give themselves to acquiring more knowledge in different books related to the area of their services or in their leadership. So you too will have to ask him even for book. He can loan you, he can give you out some books. And before you know, when you dedicate yourself in reading it, you will develop yourself, because I can tell you, you cannot occupy a position you are not prepared to take over mentally and physically. In your own capacity as a man or woman, For you to occupy any higher position, your knowledge of education and knowledge of expertise must size with that office. Now, the major attribute of leadership. The following are important factors of leadership. 1. Unwavering courage based upon knowledge of self and of one's occupation. No follower wishes to be dominated by a leader who lacks self-confidence and courage. No intelligent follower will be dominated by such a leader very long. He will break away. Why many people break away from their leaders is not because they do not love the leader, but they see that the leader is not gingering them or pushing them to develop in themselves the capacity to become great. As a leader, you must develop those under you to become greater even than you. Failure to do this, you will lose your followers. Secondly, self-control. The man who cannot control himself can never control others. Self-control sets a mighty example for one's followers, which the more intelligent will emulate. First, self-control is that act, that inner act in you to control your attitude, to control your vice. When you are being pushed under pressure, how do you react? And when your followers are not performing to the expected capacity they ought to, how do you react? If you exaggerate or you try to bring out your temper and shout at them or try to exemplify some attitude, they will sense it and that will diminish your own capacity as leader. Secondly, a keen sense of justice. Without a sense of fairness and justice, no leader can command and retain the respect of his followers. Number 4, definiteness of decision. The man who wavers in his decision shows that he is not sure of himself. He cannot lead others successfully. When you waver in any decision you take, you are up in the morning and down in the afternoon, or you are down in the morning and up in the afternoon. You set out a rule and an example, instruction for your members or followers to do. After all, in the afternoon, you come and say, no, let's change this. You cannot be successful in that kind of lifestyle. You must be firm and definite in whatever decision you take. Number 5, definiteness of plan. The successful leader must plan his work and work his plan. A leader who moves by guesswork without practical, definite plans is comparable to a ship without a rudder. Sooner or later, he will land on the rocks. Who will board a ship that does not have a rudder? I don't think any man that is intelligent enough will put his cargo worth of millions of naira into a ship that the captain does not have a rudder. The ship may capsize or sink. Number 6, the habit of doing more than paid for. The habit of doing more than paid for. One of the penalties of leadership is the necessity of willingness upon the part of the leader to do more than he requires of his followers. And number 7, a pleasing personality. No slovenly, careless person can become a successful leader. Leadership calls for respect. Followers will not respect a leader who does not grade high on all of the factors of pleasing personality. Sympathy and understanding. The successful leaders must be in sympathy with his followers. Moreover, he must understand them and their problems. Memory serves great. Without sympathy, trying to put yourself in the shoe of the fellow. Some of them are dealing with a lot of negative setback from their family. Some are coming from native tribes that doesn't accept to go great. But you are trying to push them to do great things. You must be able to have that kind of sympathy and understanding. When you understand each with their capacity to develop, you will take them one at a time and give them time to develop themselves. Number 9, mastery of details. Successful leaders call for mastery of details of the leadership position. That is, you must understand the details of why leadership is being mounted on you. Now, a leader sees through the past and sees through the future. And now he anchor and shoulder those he is leading in order to motivate them. Remember the great Prime Minister of UK, the person of Winston Churchill. In the days whereby the World War II was about to come. In fact, Nazis almost tried to overrun the whole Europe. But he stand with the cells of his oratory speech and courage to stand in that time. He roused the mighty in Great Britain, and they stand to resist the influence of Nazis. Now, without Churchill, Nazis would have been overrun in UK, and what will become of the great United Kingdom? In every walk of life, leadership decided successfully they master the situation, they master the details. And secondly, as a leader, you must have an apt, quick recall of past events. It is not every time you must look through your jota. It is not all the time you must look through your material. But in your own memory, the self-consciousness and the greatest asset that all leaders possess is the ability to listen to your intuitive, to your inner voice through your subconscious. They call it instinctive, or they call it intuitive. Now, when you have that and you listen to it, you are